How's it going? I'm Marcus Tardrew, board designer for Sunova, and I'm going to show you how to set up the steering in our Unlimited boards. First, we're going to start with the steering arm here. We're going to take the big washer, put it over the setting that we want. Then one of the screws and we're just going to start it but not tighten it. Then we grab this guy. He is the centering rod holder. Okay, then we go back, tighten that, and then just quarter of a turn off so it's nice and loose. That way it will spring back to its same position every time. Okay, next step, we're going to install the rudder. So take your rudder, you'll have your Tpiece, your hex head screw, little mini screw which will go into the Tpiece, and as many of these small plastic washers that you need to take up the slack of the shaft, which you'll see in a minute. So first of all, rudder goes in, washers on, Tpiece on, and then your hex head screw. Which you can do up with any fin key. I guess if you want to film that. Because there's no going in. There we go. So once that's installed and you've got the right amount of washers so you don't have too much slack in that, you'll have a keyring thing. Put that in the top. That's just a safety. If this screw does come out, your rudder won't disappear into the ocean. So that's that. Next step is to put the steering lines into the board. These are adjustable lines to fit each setting of the board. So you'll have a long loop which is adjustable, which goes to the front, and a small loop which goes to the back. So we'll start with the front. It just goes straight in and then pull the other end back through itself. So it's like that. Then we get the small loop, we come to these little holes in the halfway down the board and we go through and into the Tpiece. The inside setting is the most sensitive. The outside setting will be a little bit more dull than the inside. So straight in from the front, out the back and around the ends, and then pull tight. The line will still be loose like this, So then we go back to the front, and at the end of this loop you'll see a little knot, and if you just pull that loop and then take the slack out of this loop. So you just pull this tail and that loop gets shorter and shorter. Just keep making sure that this doesn't grab tight. Okay, and that's one done. Then we do the same with the other side. Big loop. Right in there. Round loop there. And in the inside hole is the setting that I use, but not the same. Just pull all the slack out of that, and then same thing, this knot here, if you just pull it, that loop will get shorter. It could take a bit of getting used to this setup. That it's an interesting sort of splice that's adjustable, but it allows you to have more than one adjustment. So, okay, now we've got them fairly tight, but still a bit loose. For me, I usually just put a half hitch. If you've got room, you can go up to there and back to take up the slack, or just a bunch of half hitches here with some loops. Until that is all taken up. Then to get the steering straight, and we want to get the slack out of these lines obviously, we'll just start with one side and just start taking up the slack in the nut. Then we'll do the same for this side. Take the slack out. Then just keep working it through. Now you can see they're pretty tight, and when I steer the arm, you'll see the T-piece at the back there moving at the same time. Now every time that you first set one of these up, these lines will go slack. You can get past that by, if you just pull these tight with your fingers like this, these splices will bed in, and see now they've gone a bit slack. So then you just, same as before, take the slack out. Pretty tight, and then you just need to stand at the back and eye up the rudder and make sure that it's nice and straight. You can do this maybe 3 or 4 times, maybe even 5, until you get them not going loose again, and then you know they're not going to come loose when you paddle. Once it's all set up, just get the O-ring and push it down to your nut, and that will just stop it coming loose mid-paddle. Okay, so that's basically the whole setup. We do have some sort of some little skid panels that go under your steering arm here. They're to be glued on later. Once you paddle it a few times and you find the setting that you like the most, then you put this under the steering arm like that, so that when it goes from side to side, it won't grip on the grip of the deck. So you can just stick it on wherever, each setting, everybody's different. It depends on the sort of ocean they're paddling in, but they're for maybe after your 3rd or 4th paddle, stick it in the setting you like, and then you're good to go.